You guys are watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey, here to react to the latest 2022 NFL mock draft from Mel Kiper of ESPN. And in fairly classic Kiper form, there are some shocking picks. Noteworthy is that for the first time since 1991, Kiper projects 4 straight defenders off the top, beginning at number 1 with Aidan Hutchinson. We've talked about that pick a lot. I don't feel the need to dive too far into it. What is interesting, though, is Ahmad Sauce Gardner, number 2 overall, from the Cincinnati Bearcats to the Detroit Lions. The Lions already spent the number 3 overall pick on Jeffrey Okudah 2 years ago. Injuries, inconsistent play on that front. Taking Gardner would be a bit of a surprise to me. I would wonder if the Lions trying to take the safe pick at that one. I think edge makes more sense for them, but they want Hutchinson, and Hutchinson this mock draft is gone. You've heard more and more buzz as of late for Travon Walker being a top 5 pick. He goes number 3, and Kayvon Thibodeaux goes number 4. So edge, corner, edge, edge off the board here, first 4 picks. The Giants, the first of their 2 picks, I'll just group these together here. Ike Mikwanu, it's a good pick. Makes a lot of sense there, right? Jermaine Johnson, number 7. So 4 edge rushers off the board in the top 7 picks here. Maybe you double dip an offensive line if you're the Giants. Maybe you go with a safety instead of Jermaine Johnson. I think it's a bit of a reach. Malik Willis, I don't think will be the pick at number 6. I might look dumb. Maybe we get more information. I think Kenny Pickett, who I don't like as much as Willis, makes better sense for where that organization is currently at. Garrett Wilson, the first receiver off the board at number 8 overall to the Falcons. They can just take the best player available. There's like one position, that's tight end, where it doesn't make sense for them to draft a premium pick. That's how much talent that team needs. Now, Willis was QB1 in this mock draft by Mel Kiper. I already placed a bet and put it down as Kenny Pickett as QB1 with my sportsbook partner. But I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think will be the first quarterback taken in the 2022 NFL draft? Is it Pickett, Willis, or is there a shocker like a Matt Corral, Sam Howell coming your way? I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. The ad break comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and make your predictions who QB1 is in this year's class. Evan Neal slides to 9 to the Seahawks. That is a steal. I love that one. Same with Kyle Hamilton at number 11. Drake London to the Jets. They need receiver help. I get what they're going for there. And I am going to keep mocking Derek Stingley at number 12. Texans went edge at 3. They'll probably go inverse on the trench play with Charles Cross at number 13 here out of Mississippi State. I'm not sure where you play him. Can he play the right side? We'll find out soon. Trent McDuffie to the Ravens. He could be your nickel corner. I don't mind that one. Chris Olave, Trevor Penning, 15, 16. I worry a little bit about having another skinny receiver in Olave with Devonta Smith, but he's good at football, so I can't complain too much there. I think Trevor Penning at 16 is a really good idea for the New Orleans Saints. If he gets there, there's your left tackle of the future. And we've seen Olave, London, and Wilson go off the board so far in this Mel Kiper mock draft. Who do you think is wide receiver 1 in this year's class? I've got Garrett Wilson, but I want to hear from you. Let me know right now in the comments section. Jordan Davis slides to 17. I think, 14 to 20-ish, 21, 22 is the right range for Jordan Davis, and I love his fit with the Chargers in that defensive style. The Eagles never go linebacker early, but Nakobe Dean is actually linebacker 1, even though I think there's a chance he's linebacker 3 off the board. Not that I would have him there, I don't, but there's a chance that ends up being the case. Jamison Williams, my guy out of Bama, the speedy deep threat. He's number 19 to the Saints, so it's Penning and Williams, and I love it for New Orleans. And Kenny Pickett, QB2 at number 20. The Pitt Panther sticks around and becomes a Pittsburgh Steeler at the 20th overall selection. If he does fall there, that's about where he ends up going. I think Pickett's range is 6 or 20. Maybe there's a surprise team that moves up, but I don't think the QBs are going to go that early this year. Devin Lloyd, 21 out of Utah. That is a very Patriot-style linebacker, so I won't complain there. Christian Watson now off the board before Treylon Burks out of Arkansas, which I fundamentally disagree with. Burks is a better player right now. Yes, Watson is the height, weight, speed athlete. So is Darius Hayward-Bay. Just because you're big, tall, and fast doesn't always mean you're a good football player. The Packers' style, what they typically like, is a really good match for Christian Watson. So I don't like taking him over Burks, I could see him going to the Packers via 22 or later on at 28. That actually does make a lot of sense to me from a player-team match. I just think that's way too much for a guy who probably needs a full year to really adjust to life in the NFL. And then Arnold Ebiketie at 24. Cowboys desperately need offensive line help on the interior, and they take an edge over all three interior offensive linemen. So thanks, Mel. I hate it. The Cowboys, NFL Daily, along with our other channels here. I was talking about Cowboys, got confused. NFL Daily is also on Rumble. Free and uncensored content on that video platform because we're trying to grow the platforms you guys use. There's also sports, news, politics, tech, and business if you're brave enough for politics on Rumble. So go give us a follow. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Help us dominate that platform just like we are here at YouTube. All right, continuing on in round one, Daxton Hill out of Michigan to the Bills at number 25, which I find very intriguing and borderline confusing. Kiper mentioned playing Daxton Hill at nickel, which the Bills don't need. They need an outside corner. They're loaded at safety. So I think it's a bad pick. I would be very surprised if the Bills, I like the player, but the fit doesn't make any sense to me. Jahan Dotson to Tennessee, they need a receiver. Also a guard. I think the interior linemen go way too late in this mock draft. I love the fit of Devontae Wyatt to the Bucs. That makes sense. Same with Zion Johnson, but I would be surprised if the first interior lineman doesn't go until 28. I could see a scenario where the big three, Johnson, Linderbaum, and Green, are all off the board by then. Before we get to pick 29 in the back end of round one, Mel Kiper did include a trade. The Jets jump up from 35 to 31 in exchange for a fourth-round pick. It's actually a bit high on the value, benefiting Cincinnati, but it's a lot better than some of the other trade ideas I've seen Mel and Todd put together over the years. The Jets go up to 31. The two picks before them are Andrew Booth and George Karlaftis. Corner, edge for Kansas City. I get it. They need the help there at both of those spots. Great value, by the way, on Karlaftis, who I don't like that much, but that was relative to me a top 10 pick. 30, I love. What I don't like is the Bengals trading away from Tyler Linderbaum, who fits their scheme. You plug him in at center, Ted Karras is your left guard, and that entire front feels so much better for the Bengals. I love the Jets going up to get him. I hate the Bengals trading away from him, though. That doesn't make sense. Then Lewis Cine rounds out round one for the Lions. They need safety help. I would not be surprised if another Georgia player goes round one. We could have 5, 6, or even 7 Georgia players taken in round one. That's how stacked that team was. That's why they won the national title, after all. So I want you guys right now to grade the first round of Mel Kiper's mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. At some level, I'm mainly asking you guys to, let me know what you think about your team's picks. But sound off for me in the comment section. First round only. We'll get the second round in a second. Grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. All right, let's get to the second round. Kenyon Green to the Jags at 33. I love the value. I don't know how big of a need offensive line really is here for the Jags, but it's a good football player, great value. I can't complain too much there. David Ojabo, edge rusher help, which the Lions need. Had he been healthy, he would have been a first-round pick. Instead, he slides to Detroit, who does get a Michigan edge, just not the one they're probably hoping for right now. Kaiir Elam to the Bengals. If you don't go offensive line, I do think corner makes a lot of sense for Cincinnati, and I'm a big Elam fan, so I love that pick. I also love Jalen Petrie, who I think is a flawless addition for what the Giants want to do on defense. I'm a big fan of his talent-wise. And value-wise, this little grouping of 4 is my favorite of the entire Mel Kiper mock. I just don't love that team player fit so much for Kenyon Green. The Texans now at 37, another safety off the board early for Mel Kiper. This is Jaquan Brisker. I guess this is your Justin Reed replacement, but they need talent, so take the best player available. Breece Hall to the New York Jets. So this is your Breece Hall, Michael Carter pairing long-term for New York. Maybe Hall sneaks in round 1. Bills? Maybe? I think round 2 makes a lot more sense in the modern-day NFL. Kyler Gordon goes 39 to the Chicago Bears. Great athlete. He'll need some time to grow and develop. And Seattle takes Desmond Ridder. Ridder's actually my QB3, a second-round grade on him. There is, of course, concerns with every single quarterback prospect this year, but I don't mind Ridder in round 2, especially relative to, say, a top 6 pick on one of those QBs at Carolina. So it's a gamble. There's risk. But of the QB picks, Ridder round 2, I kind of like the most of the plausible outcomes this year. Now, we'll be live for the entire 2022 NFL Draft. Unlike the failing ESPN, we're not going to talk about how miserable a childhood the prospect had. I guys remember that one? That was a disaster. No, we'll talk about the picks and the players and what they mean for your favorite team. And on day 3, we're not going to do a bunch of boring-ass interviews that no one cares about talking about the round 1 guy. We'll talk about every single player who gets picked. That's what my job is, to let you guys know who the players are going off the board. So if you want the best NFL draft coverage on YouTube, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 41, Quay Walker out of Georgia to the Seahawks. He could be a sneaky round 1 pick. I broke that down the other day for you guys, some surprise round 1 picks. Why you guys should be subscribed after all. Like the fit in Seattle. Bernard Raymond at 42 here, I actually like quite a bit. I don't like him in round 1. Round 2, I got no complaints on that one. He is older. He is a bit more raw, but he could be Eric Fisher for the Colts. And that is, well, trying to replace him after all. Boye Mafe, who could again sneak into round 1 here to the Falcons. Upside player, and my God, is landing defensive help. So good pick there. And I think the Travis Jones-Brown pick, which is a very popular mock draft selection, makes a ton of sense for a team that needs help on the defensive tackle and defensive end spots. Another Georgia linebacker at 45 here, Channing Tindall out of Georgia. Freaky fast athlete. The instincts are not there yet, but the Ravens can be patient with him. Perion Winfrey to the Minnesota Vikings, some trench play. I'm fine with that one. George Pickens, by the way, keep an eye out for him going to the Colts at 42 if he's still on the board. The Commanders have been linked to some receivers. Pickens is an upgraded version of Diami Brown as a vertical threat. Tyler Smith, then, who has had some round 1 buzz, which I hate because he is raw. He needs time. His technique is a disaster. But at 48, with upside at guard and tackle, I think it actually makes sense for the Bears to take him out of Tulsa in round 2. Then another QB, Matt Corral to the Saints. And scheme fit-wise, I actually like it. He's not that big, but his release is quick. He's a tough football player. You just wonder if he can read defenses enough and if he's able to withstand hits in the NFL. Sky Moore at 50 is awesome. There is a non-zero chance he goes round 1. I love him out of Western Michigan, the receiver. Drake Jackson, edge from USC. Always add more talent there. I'm not going to complain. Hasn't quite broken out yet. John Mechie, I think actually is a good fit in Pittsburgh. He was the guy Bama went to and they needed to play. Drops have been a problem, though, for the young receiver from the Crimson Tide. We're in day 2, and sometimes sleepers sneak into day 2. So who do you think is the biggest sleeper in this year's NFL Draft? Drop a name for me in the comments section. The Packers double dip at receiver, and I'll just mention what Kiper gave Pierce player comp for. Jordy Nelson, which I think will appreciate many, but that actually makes sense. Great athlete, vertical threat. He and Watson on the outside is pretty tantalizing with Randall Cobb / Amari Rodgers on the middle. I would not be surprised if Pierce and the Packers double dip at receiver early in this year's draft. Logan Hall to the Patriots. He's a tweener for me, and the Patriots love those types of tweeners. So I actually like what Mel did here with the scheme fit. I don't think D-line's their biggest need, but that is a Patriots type of player. Roger McCreary out of Auburn, who I like a lot. He's just tiny. It would be a steal for Arizona at 55. And a right tackle, Abraham Lucas to the Cowboys. Doesn't really make any sense, but you can't always get them all right, Mel. That's okay. Kenneth Walker, round 2 to the Bills. This is why I don't want to take a back in round 1. You can go Breece Hall in the first, or maybe get Kenneth Walker in round 2. I like both of those guys. Hall's better, but there's a big gap with those picks. I'd rather wait on the backfield option. Troy Anderson from Montana State, who's an awesome athlete, by the way. Falcons got to replace Foye Olokun. Foye Olokun. There it is. Thank you. He's a good replacement there as an upside player. Small school guy, but very athletic. Myjai Sanders, who had some combine weight issues because he was sick, stomach bug. Packers love taking edges, so I think Mel's actually done a good job of identifying the type of player the Packers like, so I'll give him credit there. Cole Strange, who could be a guard or maybe a center in the NFL, is a good fit for the Bucs in round 2. I just don't know what the day 2, day 3 guard center order, I have no idea what it's going to end up being. 61, Cam Taylor-Britt, who Mel kind of mentioned as a corner. I think he might move to safety in the NFL. Either way, you could argue that's a need both sides for San Francisco, so I get it. Jalen Tolbert out of USA, a.k.a. the University of South Alabama, gives the Chiefs an outside option at receiver. And then Greg Dulcich and Trey McBride. With McBride going behind Dulcich, which I don't like very much, by the way, I would flip that order. I don't know if the Broncos would add another tight end. They've got Albert O, but you know what? McBride's great value at 64, so I like that pick there by Denver. That's the second round of Mel Kiper's mock draft. Grade it for me. Scale it 1 to 100. How do you feel about what Mel Kiper did in the second round of his latest ESPN mock draft?